The Netherlands haven't lifted the FIFA World Cup despite reaching three finals. Morocco are still proving that their historic run in Qatar wasn't a one off. Now only one of them can keep the dream alive. This isn't just another round of 32 match, it's one of the biggest clashes of the entire knockout stage. Two top 10 nations, two completely different football philosophies, one ticket to the round of 16, and potentially a clear path towards the quarterfinals. Will Dutch attacking football finally deliver on the football's biggest stage, or will Morocco write another unforgettable chapter in their incredible rise? Let's break it all down. Hello everyone and welcome back to Legends SR10. The FIFA World Cup knockout stage is finally here, and if you're looking for one match that every football fan should watch, this is it. Netherlands versus Morocco. On paper, this might only be a round of 32 fixture. In reality, it feels like a quarterfinal. These are two nations that have exceeded expectations in different ways. The Netherlands arrived with plenty of questions. Could Ronald Koeman build a team capable of competing with the world's elite? Would their attack be clinical enough? Could they finally shake off years of inconsistency? Three group matches later, many of those doubts have disappeared. The Orange finally topped one of the most toughest groups in the tournament, scoring goals from every area of the pitch and looking more dangerous with every game. But standing in their way is arguably one of the toughest opponents they could have drawn: Morocco, a nation that no longer surprises anyone. Back in 2022, they shocked the football world by reaching the semi-finals. Today, they expect to compete with the best. This Moroccan side doesn't fear Brazil, it doesn't fear France, and it certainly won't fear the Netherlands. That's exactly why this match has all the ingredients to become one of the games of the tournament. This game means far more than simply reaching the next round. For the Netherlands, this is an opportunity to prove that they are genuine contenders. For years, Dutch football has produced world class players but fallen short when it mattered the most. Three World Cup finals, zero trophies. Every generation carries that burden. Ronald Koeman knows critics are still unconvinced. His side has played attractive football during the group stage, but knockout football is different. Beat Morocco, and suddenly people begin taking them seriously about the Netherlands as a potential semi finalist. Lose, and all those old questions return. Has Dutch football really progressed, or are they still falling short against elite opposition? For Morocco, the stakes are equally enormous. Many believed that 2022 World Cup was a once in a generation miracle, but this tournament has suggested something very different. Morocco aren't trying to recreate history, they are building a new one. Another deep World Cup run would prove that Morocco belong permanently among football's elite nations, not as underdogs but as genuine contenders. That mindset changes everything. This team doesn't enter matches hoping to compete, they enter believing they can win. Let's start with the Netherlands. Their campaign didn't begin perfectly. A frustrating draw against Japan exposed some tactical weaknesses, particularly late in the game. Many questioned Ronald Koeman's conservative approach after taking the lead. But what impressed me the most wasn't the draw itself, it was the response. The Dutch didn't panic. Instead, they improved with every match. Sweden were dismantled. Tunisia were comfortably beaten. Goals came from multiple players rather than relying on one superstar. Brian Brobby stepped up. Cody Gakpo found important moments. The midfield started controlling matches with greater confidence. Even defenders chipped in with crucial goals from set pieces. By the end of the group stage, the Netherlands weren't simply winning, they were growing stronger. That's exactly what you want from a tournament team: momentum, confidence, belief. Their opening match against Brazil ended without defeat, and perhaps more importantly, without fear. In many spells of that game, Morocco looked every bit Brazil's equal. Their midfield controlled possession, their defensive organization frustrated one of the world's most dangerous attacks, and their transitions caused constant problems. That performance immediately sent a message to every remaining team in this competition: Morocco are here to make up the numbers. They aren't. Victories over Scotland and Haiti secured qualification. While those performances weren't flawless, they revealed something important. Even when Morocco aren't at their absolute best, they still find ways to win. That's often the difference between good teams and great tournament teams. Perhaps the most fascinating part of this matchup isn't simply the quality of players, it's the contrast in football philosophy. The Netherlands want control, long spells of possession, structured build up, wide overloads, patient attacking football. Morocco, they are comfortable without the ball. They invite pressure, they wait, and then suddenly one pass changes everything. Within seconds, defense becomes attack. This is difficult why predicting this game is so difficult. One side wants rhythm, the other wants chaos. One mistake could decide everything. Netherlands versus Morocco. If there is one word that perfectly describes the Netherlands so far, it's balance. Coming into this World Cup, most fans expected the Dutch defense to carry the team. After all, Virgil van Dijk remains one of the world's best centre backs. Nathan Ake has enjoyed another excellent season. Denzel Dumfries is one of the most dangerous attacking fullbacks in international football. But surprisingly, it hasn't been the defense stealing the headlines. It wins the attack. The Netherlands have looked far more dynamic than many expected. Instead of relying on one superstar striker, goals have arrived from everywhere. Brobbey, Gakpo, Malen, even defenders attacking set pieces. That unpredictability makes them extremely difficult to defend because if you stop one threat, another immediately appears. And that's exactly what tournament football demands. Before the tournament began, many questioned whether Brian Brobby was ready to lead the Dutch attack on the biggest stage. Fast forward three group stage matches, and those doubts have almost disappeared. Brobby has given this Netherlands team something they lacked for years, a genuine physical focal point. He's incredibly difficult to push off the ball. Centre backs struggle against his strength. His older play allows runners like Cody Gakpo and Donald Marlin to attack dangerous spaces. Even when he doesn't score, he changes games. And against Morocco, his battle with the Moroccan centre backs might decide everything. If Brobby dominates physicality, the Netherlands become incredibly difficult to stop. But despite all the positives, there remains one concern: the midfield. Not because they lack quality, far from it. Players like Frankie de Jong, Gravenberch, and Reinders possess outstanding technical ability. The concern comes during defensive transitions. Throughout the group stage, the Dutch occasionally left far too much space behind the midfield and the defense. Japan exploited it, Sweden found opportunities, even Tunisia created dangerous moments. Against Morocco, those mistakes become far more dangerous because Morocco doesn't need 20 chances, they need only two. And that's exactly why controlling midfield could become the biggest tactical battle of the entire game. Let's talk about Morocco. One of the biggest mistakes people still make is calling Morocco a surprise package. That label no longer fits. This team has now performed consistently over several major tournaments: World Cup semi finals, strong AFCON performances, outstanding qualification campaign, and now another impressive World Cup. That's no accident, that's elite football. Morocco have earned their place among the world's best. What makes Morocco so dangerous? It's actually quite simple: transitions. Very few international teams have move from defense to attack as quickly as Morocco. The moment possession changes, everything changes. One forward pass, one clever movement, suddenly they're running directly at your backline. And that's exactly where players like Brahim Diaz and Ismail Saibari become so dangerous. They don't waste time, they attack immediately against teams who commit numbers forward. Morocco become absolutely lethal. That's why even Brazil struggle against them in the tournament. Every World Cup creates new heroes. For Morocco, that player has been Ismail Saibari. Coming into the tournament, football fans knew he was talented. Leaving the group stage, everyone knows his name. His movement between the line has been exceptional. He's constantly finding dangerous pockets of space. He can score, he can create, he works tirelessly without possession. But perhaps his biggest strength is decision making. He rarely faces difficult passes. Instead, he waits for the exactly right moment. Against the Netherlands, he'll be one of Morocco's biggest attacking weapons. Brahim Diaz. Interestingly, Morocco's most talented attacker might actually be under the most pressure. Brahim Diaz. Everyone knows what he is capable of: quick feet, creative passing, excellent vision, but this tournament he's shown flashes rather than complete performances. There have been moments of brilliance, followed by long periods where he struggled to influence matches. Against the Dutch, Morocco need their biggest stars to deliver because chances won't come easily. When those moments arrive, Brahim has to make them count. One tactical duel that could completely change this game comes down to the wings. On one side, Denzel Dumfries; on the other, Ashraf Hakimi, arguably two of the most attacking fullbacks in world football. Both love to overlap, both constantly join attacks, both create chances. But here's the risk: every time one pushes forward, space appears behind them. Whichever team exploits that space more effectively could gain a huge advantage. Don't be surprised if one of the decisive goals comes from exactly this situation. This isn't simply attack versus defense, it's two completely different football identities. The Netherlands prefer structure, they want possession, they build patiently, they stretch opponents. Morocco are comfortable surrendering possession, they're happy defending deep because they know eventually their moment will come. One turnover, one misplaced pass, one quick counter attack, that's all they need. Which style wins? We'll find out soon enough. Knockout football is rarely decided by one moment. More often, it's won through a handful of individual battles across the pitch. And in this game, there are five that could define everything. Battle 1, Brian Brobby versus Morocco's centre backs. If you are Morocco, stopping Brian Brobby has to be priority number one. The Dutch striker isn't just scoring goals, he's becoming the focal point of every Dutch attack. His physicality forces defenders backwards. His hold-up play allows Gakpo, Malin, and the midfield runners to flood into dangerous spaces. If Morocco allow Brobby to receive the ball comfortably, they'll spend the entire night chasing shadows. But Morocco won't be intimidated. They have defended against elite forwards before. The challenge isn't winning the first duel, it's surviving the second and third because Brobby never stops making runs. He keeps asking questions. Eventually, defenders start making mistakes. Battle 2, Frankie de Jong versus Sofian Amrabat. If Brobby is the Dutch engine up front, Frankie de Jong is the heartbeat. Everything begins with him. His ability to escape pressure, turn, and carry the ball through the midfield is among the best in international football. But standing in his way is one of the smartest defensive midfielders in world football, Sofian Amrabat. He doesn't need spectacular tackles. He simply reads the game brilliantly, cutting passing lanes, winning second balls, breaks attacks before the defense becomes dangerous. If Amrabat can frustrate Frankie, Morocco immediately gain control of the midfield. But if Frankie escapes the pressure, the Dutch attack becomes incredibly difficult to maintain. Battle 3, Hakimi versus Gakpo. This could be one of the fastest matchups of the tournament. Hakimi loves attacking, so does Cody Gakpo. Both players are explosive, both love driving into space, both can decide matches in seconds. The interesting part, neither enjoys defending for 90 minutes. Whichever player forces the other backwards will give their team a huge tactical advantage. Battle for Virgil van Dijk versus Ismail Saibari. Experience against momentum. Van Dijk has played the biggest matches in world football. Champions League finals, European Championships, World Cups. Very little surprises him anymore. But Ismail Saibari arrives full of confidence. He's already announced himself on this stage. His intelligent movement between defenders makes him incredibly difficult to mark. Van Dijk may not always follow him. Instead, communication with the Dutch midfield becomes essential. Lose Saibari for even 1 second and Morocco will punish you. And Battle 5, Ronald Koeman versus Mohamed Ouabi. Sometimes the biggest battle isn't on the pitch, it's on the touchline. Koeman has decades of experience. He's managed Barcelona, he's managed major international tournaments. He understands pressure. Mohamed Ouabi represents something different. A modern coach, flexible, fearless, prepared to change systems during matches. This tactical chess match could become fascinating, especially if the game remains level after the final 20, entering the final 20 minutes. Keys to victory, the Netherlands. If the Dutch want to reach the round of 16, there are three things they absolutely must do. Number one, win the midfield battle. Against Morocco, losing possession in central areas is dangerous. Every misplaced pass becomes a counter attack. The Dutch midfield will protect the defense while still supporting the attack, which is a must. Balance will be everything. Number two, stretch Morocco wide. Morocco defend compactly. Breaking through their middle isn't easy. The Netherlands should use Dumfries and Gakpo to force Morocco across the pitch. The wider Morocco becomes, the more space opens centrally for Broby. And number three, finish their chances. Against elite teams, you rarely receive 10 clear opportunities. Maybe 3, maybe 4. The Netherlands cannot afford wastefulness. Clinical finishing wins knockout football. Now over to Morocco. How can Morocco eliminate the Dutch? First, punish transitions. This is Morocco's greatest weapon. They don't need 70% possession, they only need one mistake. Every Dutch fullback that pushes forward creates opportunity. Morocco must attack those spaces immediately. Second, be ruthless in the final third. Throughout the group stage, Morocco created plenty, but sometimes they lacked the final pass. Against the Netherlands, those missed opportunities could become costly. Efficiency matters. And number three, stay mentally strong. The Dutch will dominate periods of possession. That's expected. Morocco cannot panic. Remain organized, remain patient, trust the system because eventually their chance will come. Everyone discusses tactics, everyone discusses star players, but World Cup knockout games often turn on much smaller details. Set pieces. The Netherlands possess serious aerial power. Van Dijk, Brobby, Van Heck, even Dumfries. Corners and free kicks could become decisive. Morocco must defend every dead ball situation perfectly. Then there's fatigue. The knockout stage changes everything. Games become more physical, players hesitate less, challenges become stronger. Whichever bench impacts the game better could decide the outcome. Netherlands probably have a slight advantage here. Their attacking options of the bench give Coman genuine flexibility if the game opens late on. Finally, emotion. This isn't another international fixture, it's survival. One mistake and you're going home. Sometimes Handling pressure becomes more important than tactical quality. That's impossible to measure with statistics, but it often decides World Cups. Let's be honest, there are bigger names elsewhere in the bracket, but in terms of football, this might genuinely be the most entertaining round of 32 tie. Both teams attack, both teams believe they can win. Neither side is built to sit back for 90 minutes. One prefers possession, the other thrives on transition. Those contrasting styles usually produce open football. Goals, momentum swings, drama, exactly what every neutral wants to see. And if this game lives up to the expectations, don't be surprised if people look back at it as one of the standout matches of the entire knockout stage. The prediction. So, after everything we have discussed, the tactics, the key battles, the form, the momentum, who wins? Honestly, this is one of the hardest games to call in the entire round of 32. Both teams deserve to be here. Both teams have looked better with every game. Both teams believe they can make a deep run in this tournament. But eventually, one team has to blink first. I expect the opening 20 minutes to belong to the Netherlands. They'll dominate possession, move Morocco from side to side, push Dumfries high up the pitch, look for Brobbey inside the penalty area. Morocco won't panic. They have seen this before. They'll stay compact, wait patiently, and then one mistake changes everything. I can already picture it. A loose Dutch pass in the midfield. Amrabat wins possession. One quick pass forward. Hakimi bursts down the right. The cross arrives, and Morocco strikes first. Suddenly, the pressure is completely on the Dutch. But here's why I still believe in this Netherlands side. Unlike previous Dutch teams, this group doesn't lose confidence when things go against them. They have shown resilience throughout the tournament. Instead of forcing the game, they trust their system. Keep moving the ball, keep creating spaces. Eventually, their quality begins to show. Brobbey starts winning more duels. Frankie de Jong begins dictating the tempo. The Moroccan defense, after absorbing wave after wave of pressure, finally begins to tie up. Before halftime, the Netherlands find their equalizer. Game on. The second half, this is where everything opens up. Morocco become more adventurous, the Dutch push even higher, the spaces behind both fullbacks grow larger. Suddenly, the match turns into exactly what every neutral hoped for, end-to-end football. Counter-attacks, last ditch tackles, goalkeepers making huge saves, momentum changing every 5 minutes. It's chaos, the beautiful kind. Another around the hour mark, the Netherlands complete the comeback. A following move through the midfield. Brobbey holds the ball brilliantly. A perfectly timed run. A clinical finish. 2-1. For the first time all night, the Orange are in front. But Morocco don't disappear. That's not who they are. This team has built its reputation on resilience. Just when it looks like the Dutch are taking the control, Morocco hit back. Another lightning fast transition. Brahim Diaz finally produces the moment everyone has been waiting for. A defense splitting pass. A composed finish. 2-2. We are level again. And now the tension inside the stadium becomes unbearable. The decisive moment. Knockout football often comes down to one mistake, one piece of brilliance, one player willing to seize the moment. I think that moment belongs to the Netherlands. Late in the game, with Morocco beginning to tie, the Dutch finally find the breakthrough, whether it's Brobbey, whether it's Gakpo, or even perhaps a defender arriving from the set piece. I believe the Netherlands score one final goal, not because Morocco collapse, far from it, but because over 90 minutes, the Dutch create just enough chances to edge an extraordinary football match. Final score Netherlands 3, Morocco 2. 5 goals, constant drama, one of the best matches of the tournament, and a deserved place in the round of 16 for the Orange. What would this result mean? If the Netherlands do win, everything changes. The criticism surrounding Ronald Koeman begins to fade. People start talking about potential and they start talking about possibility. Suddenly, a quarterfinal doesn't seem unrealistic. Maybe even more. Momentum is everything in tournament football. And a victory over a side as dangerous as Morocco would send a message to every remaining nation. Netherlands are here to compete. And as for Morocco, even in defeat, their reputation only grows stronger. This generation has already transformed African football. They have shown once again that they belong amongst the world's elite. They leave this tournament with their heads held high. And there's little doubt they'll continue to challenge for major honors in the years forward. Whatever happens, this has all the ingredients to become one of the standout games of the knockout stage. Two footballing cultures, two ambitious nations, two teams that genuinely believe they can go deep into this World Cup. Only one can continue, and that's exactly why we love this tournament. Because in the World Cup, history isn't remembered for almost winning, it's remembered by the teams brave enough to take the moment. If you've enjoyed this preview and want more World Cup analysis, predictions, tactical breakdowns, and football documentaries, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Legends SR10, and turn on notifications so you will never miss a video. Now it's your turn. Who do you think wins this blockbuster clash? Can Morocco produce another famous World Cup upset, or will the Netherlands finally take the next step towards ending decades of World Cup heartbreak? Drop a prediction in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And before you go, don't miss my other round of 32 preview. If you haven't watched my Brazil versus Japan match preview yet, make sure you do. I break down the tactical battle, the key players, and whether Japan can shock Brazil once again or if the 5-time world champions will finally get their revenge. You'll find the link in the pinned comment below. Definitely give it a watch after this video. Until next time, take care, enjoy the football, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.